Hello, springing into the new year. This is the next video. There is nothing really to add that I didn't say last week. I don't think I've had a big load of post. I got my Blu-ray of The Inspector Wears Skirts, and I'm eagerly awaiting my pre-order of The Inspector Wears Skirts 2, which I'm looking forward to watching those, making time for them. I have recently finally watched the Mark Jenkin films Bait and Ennis Main, and I'm still mulling them both over, to be honest. They're very much mood pieces. I think I preferred Bait. I may end up rewatching both before I review them for my blog. Let's see, choking myself with this mask and a mild bit of lurgy. So I didn't have anything to talk about. I didn't want to go over the same old stuff with people bringing in the new year and having their resolutions or putting resolutions aside. But I did remember that on the podcast the other week, I mentioned, for me personally, I enjoyed a lot of time on the last day of last year just chilling out, just watching Interstellar 5555, which was the animation match to the Daft Punk album. I think it's a Discovery album. I really enjoyed AC/DC Live at Donington, and a number of music videos. I've got the DVDs of the music videos that I've shown before. And then Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense. It was perfect. I didn't have anything scheduled for my blog. I was all up to date. Didn't have anything for the podcast. Was up to date on that. Just didn't have any like movie responsibilities. And that's really nice. And if you do take your movie viewing a bit more seriously for a lot of the time, if you're like me and you have to sort of mark off lists or categorize things, or you just put a lot on your plate, if you do podcasts, if you do blogs, reviews, whatever you do, I think it's important to make time to just sit back and enjoy some stuff that you're maybe not going to review. You've already watched perhaps many times and enjoyed it. I just listened to the latest episode of Night of the Living podcast, and it's a random pick. Now and again, they'll do stuff where it's non-horror, and they're all chatting away about Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And I'm listening to their enjoyment of Who Framed Roger Rabbit and thinking, yeah, I really need to rewatch Who Framed Roger Rabbit sometime soon, because I remember loving that film, and it's been a while. And I think, hopefully, that is what we'd like to do sometimes on the podcast. I know between us, there's usually at least one critical voice of something that we watch, or sometimes we are hurting one another with choices. But when it's just right for at least a few of us, then the main point is not to dissect and delve too deep into every aspect of the movie. We don't have the time for that. We don't have the knowledge, quite frankly, and we don't have everything to hand that would require. But it is to enthuse about something that we then hope other people might check out or rewatch. So with that in mind, I also made time at the weekend for a little double bill that I've been planning for a while. I started with In the Line of Fire. In the Line of Fire is a great action thriller movie. Well, is there any action? There's maybe one or two beats. It's a thriller movie. Clint Eastwood plays a Secret Service agent who's getting on in years. He's still very grumpy. He was in JFK died. John Malkovich is the toying, teasing would-be assassin who wants to take out the president. It's brilliant. Brilliant film. I think the script is a lot of fun. I think the performances are great. Malkovich is genuinely menacing, and there are a couple of really unnerving moments. And if you haven't watched it in a while, I encourage you to rewatch it. If you've never seen it, I encourage you to check it out. It feels to me like a precursor to many films and shows that have come after it that had the classic sort of detective criminal interplay and the conversations on the phone. Fantastic. Now, the other one I watched, I've mentioned before recently, and if I said to you, I came home and there was a man in my house, then you'd know that already, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? I think you would. I think you would. When I came home, there was a man in my house. I fought with this man. He had a mechanical arm. You find this man. You find this man. That man killed his wife. That is Dr. Richard Kimball. The film is The Fugitive, and it is still every bit as great as I remember. And there was still plenty that I'd forgotten about it. It's just brilliant blockbuster fun. I forgot how early the big scene happens with the train that at the time I think was in every magazine and maybe in the newspapers, because it cost, I'm going to say it was like $1 million a second or something, like really, really astronomically high for the time, and just pays off in spades. Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, Joey Pants is in there, Joe Pantoliano. So many, like in The Line of Fire, there are so many familiar faces in this, and it's fun just to spot them all. Julianne Moore is an easier one that many people remember being in there, but Jane Lynch is in there as a doctor who knows Richard Kimball. Oh God, I've gone blank now with the other names, but both of those films together, you could do a lot worse than giving yourself a really great, slick, polished 90s action thriller double bill. And that is why we find movies that we love, so that we can rewatch them when we have the time, remember bits that we've forgotten, and re-experience the stuff that we know is there and is the reason that we keep coming back to them. That's it. I just wanted to share my joy of that. Please let me know if you've recently rewatched The Fugitive. I know a lot of you have. I know a lot of people picked up the 4K, the Steelbook. Really nice package. I just ended up getting the Blu-ray, and I've got it on iTunes. But also, please let me know when the last time was that you watched In the Line of Fire. And if you agree with me on the quality of these films together, then you can hit buttons, you can like, subscribe, you can use the links that I will put in the description below. It would be really nice to see you joining us on this journey through 2024. Japanuary is continuing on the podcast, and Tyler has given us a usual dodgy Tyler choice. Like the actual title he told us is so bad, I'm not going to say it. But it's Zoom In or Zoom Up or something, something apartments. It's very bad. I went with the first of the Bloodthirsty trilogy, which is somewhere here. It's a box set that I got from Arrow some time ago, and the first film is The Vampire Doll. So that looks to be a good one. We actually have a film coming up that someone emailed us a polite request to see if we would check it out. That is their work, so that's going to be interesting in the next couple of weeks. And at the end of the month, we're back with a bit of Takashi Miike, because if anyone deserves another special, it is the prolific and sometimes slightly insane Takashi Miike. Enjoy!